Praise the Lord. So from group 3, we are to answer the question, how can I practicalize the lifelong learning? So as an individual, we've learned what lifelong learning is and the various resources and sources for lifelong learning. So how do we practicalize it? So what does it mean to practicalize? Now, first of all, to practicalize means to put into action what has been learned, and it also means put into use the knowledge gotten. So we've gotten various knowledge on how to practice, what does lifelong learning mean. So now we are looking at how we can, on a personal level, practicalize lifelong learning. So I'll just be giving some simple tips for practicalizing lifelong learning. Tips for practicalizing lifelong learning. And just as we have on the screen, the first one there is set clear goals. Now, what does it mean to set clear goals? We've all possibly heard of SMART goals. Goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. We have to create, so setting clear goals means you define what you want to learn. So what exactly do you want to learn? What is that thing you want to, okay, you are in school, you are learning about mathematics, physics, what other skill do you want to add to it? You mentioned tailoring, you mentioned programming, you want to learn a programming language, you want to learn graphic designing, so you have to define what am I learning? Because there are many things out there for you to learn, and if you don't have a specific goal, you'll be carried away. So you define what you want to learn. Then next is, you create a learning plan. Yes, create a learning plan. Now, we've just spoken about resources and sources. So you have to identify the resources, the courses, or mentors that can help you achieve your learning goals. It's very, very important. It's not just knowing what you want to learn. Then, okay, if I want to learn graphic design, I want to learn programming. What are the sources? Where can I learn it? What are the platforms? What are the websites? What are the groups I need to join? You need to create a learning plan. Then thirdly, allocate time. So it's very, very important, time management. So you have what you want to learn. Okay, what is your time duration? Do I want to learn it within the period of 6 months? Do I want to learn it within the period of 1 year? How long does it take to learn this? Okay, then after learning this, what am I going into? So you should allocate time, dedicate regular time to learning, whether it is daily, weekly, or monthly. Number 4 there is reflect and apply. Yes, very, very important. You know, many times we just accumulate knowledge. We just accumulate. Now we need to reflect, think on what the knowledge we've gotten, then apply it. Don't just accumulate knowledge, apply it in your work and life. Apply it in your work and life. We've just learned lifelong learning now. Start something. Start from at least what you have. You don't need to, let's say you want to become a mechatronics engineer, and let's say example, there's no way you can start learning something like that. Now, look for a shop, a small mechanic shop, and just attach yourself there. Start getting some few skills that will help you in that field. So that when you have the opportunity to further, it's not going to be a new field. At least you've gotten some knowledge. The next one is seek feedback. Yes, very, very important. You have to seek feedback. Now, that's why that's important. As you learn, you need feedback to be able to measure your progress. So welcome feedback from peers and mentors to enhance your learning process so that you can know how well you are performing. Are you improving? Are you becoming better? Or are you retarded? So seek for feedback. Then stay curious. Yes, stay curious. While we were in our group, a brother mentioned how I think he heard of something and he decided to go and make personal research. So he began to make findings. So be curious, don't just, so lifelong, that's one of the basis for lifelong learning. You can't be a lifelong learner if you're not curious. So there must be something, a drive. Okay, I want to learn, okay, now I've learned tailoring. Okay, what next do I want to learn? Okay, I want to learn programming. Okay, I've learned C++, I want to learn HTML, I want to learn Python, I want to learn Java. So there must be that curiosity in you, and it must be progressive. Praise the Lord. Then you should have a passion. Yes, passion is what will drive the lifelong learning process. So there must be passion, and you must also go for what you are passionate for. Yes, it helps you because there are times when you may want to give up. Let's say, especially let's say you want to learn something like programming. Programming can be very, very tedious. I've entered a little bit into programming, but if it's not something you have passion about, you will just give up, let's say within 1 or 2 days of trying to learn it, because it will just blow your mind and you will not even know where to move on. So go for something you are passionate about. It helps keep the drive, it helps keep the focus. Then lastly, we have diversify your interests. Diversify your interest. Yes, so there should be various things you should be able to put in, how do I put it now? Put yourself into. Don't just limit yourself to one. Like our speaker said, so he had touched various things. He touched sewing, touched programming, possibly touched web development. So diversify your interest, and it's very, very important so that you won't be limited. Not that necessarily that you may even use it to work, but so that you won't be a novice in a particular field. So when they mention a particular field, you have a knowledge in almost everything. So if they call graphic design, you know something about it. If they call AI and machine learning, you have a knowledge there. If they call robotics, you have. So that is one of the importance. It may not necessarily mean that you are using everything to work, but that you are not left out in the world. It's talk about there's the evolution of learning. Learning is always changing. So when you diversify, you can fit in almost every situation. Thank you.